Alright folks, welcome to, that was very awkward, I was going to do the thumbs up, but then I ended up committing to the peace sign. Always off to a great start, need to get a glass. Welcome to another beer review, and it's that time of the year again, where the bad taste short sleeve shirts make an appearance. Dressed like an 80s drug dealer today, and I've even got like green pants on, so either that or an arms dealer in the Congo. Anyway, very specific looks. Should we just shut up and get on with the review? Today we're going over to Cloudwater. It's focusing on a piece of child's art there. Don't worry, child is a member of the family, not just a random child's artwork. We don't talk about that anymore. And this is Concrete Jungle, which is a pale ale, clocking in at 5% ABV, brewed with Belma HBC 586. There's the artwork, another photographic label, which I'd imagine they don't credit it anymore, but I still think it's Paul Jones who does them. So this is a supremely drinkable pale ale that was designed to present you with the best hop flavours in a beer that's as easy and as moreish as it is delicious. By blending newer varietals and experimental hops together, you'll find deep flavours of grapefruit, apricot and creamy strawberry, with a full body and balanced piney finish. Very nice indeed. I think it was the write-up of this which got me interested, because they can't all be higher ABV IPAs and double IPAs, even though I've got a nice triple IPA from Soma in the fridge upstairs, which I might crack open. It's only Monday, but sun's out, bad short sleeve shirts are out. Thank you, Primark. And I even did the whitest thing ever. I bought myself a Wu-Tang like baseball shirt. Can I name you 5 Wu-Tang songs off the top of my head? No, I can't. But we're all familiar with the Shaolin Chamber. So beer in a glass then, and it's leaning more towards what I would say sort of West Coast-ish. One of the few occasions where the lighting is actually giving you a fair representation of the beer. Poured with just shy of 3 fingers worth of a white foamy looking head. Very nice indeed. Very sort of like pale yellowy amber hues to it. And it looks like lemon juice as well towards the bottom of the glass. So, perfect beer to come home to after a day of work. Let's see what we get on the nose. Don't know why I made that observation. It's a very well-rounded and subtle aroma, I would say. Definitely see where they're getting the grapefruit from. And it's got, I say this quite a lot, because quite a lot of IPAs that I've had recently have this characteristic, but it's more of those like sweeter, softer citrus fruits, like your blood oranges, tangerines, clementines, pink grapefruit. A little bit of like freshly cut grass, or like keeping it in line with the seasons. You cut your grass earlier in the day, not too early though, because you don't want to burn your grass. And then as it gets a little bit cooler and you've still got that smell of freshly cut grass in the air and you're watering your garden. Does it actually smell like that though? It does smell nice, to be fair. I'm just trying to put an image in your head. And I'm starting to look like a complete cliche, aren't I? 80s style bad shirt. I'm sure my granddad used to actually have a chair that had this design on it. And I've got the Keith Haring artwork. I seem to be buying Keith Haring related clothing on a monthly basis. Because I'm cool. Yeah, it smells really, really nice. As it's breathing, those flavours are coming out a little bit more, as you expect. But I've wasted way too many minutes. Can't even formulate a proper coherent sentence at the moment. Spent too long smelling it. Let's just give it a taste. Cheers, folks. Oh, wow. That is very, very piney. Both towards the front end and on the back end. Right at the back, you get a beautiful medley of pine needle and grapefruit. That quintessential grapefruit-like bitterness. I know it said it on the can, but it reminds me, there's a little bit of like a strawberry yogurt flavour. Nice little tingle of citrus character as well. Oh yeah. The bitterness on this is bitterness. The bitterness is, what would that be in German? Herbnuss. Don't know if bitternut is a common thing in German, but yeah, this isn't like a bright, vibrant fruit bowl of a beer. I would say, and I don't know if it's intended to be a West Coast style, but this is probably one of the most West Coast, what I remember, like West Coast used to be like. You know, I was relatively late to the game. Mind you can't say that because craft beer is still in motion, isn't it? So it's an ongoing thing. So how can you be late to the party if it's still ongoing thing? But, you know, there was that few years before the hazy IPAs really came into effect in New England's Vermont style, blah, 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 blah. The beers that every brewery is doing now as a common pale IPA, double IPA, triple IPA, Quipper, whatever. Sorry, Rob. And, yeah, it's got that, does have a slight marmalade-y element to it. And I think we have this sort of like old school idea of what we remember West Coast beers to be like. And I think I might have come to, it's a good job I didn't pause after I said that, which I did. Now it sounds even worse now I said come to. We all come together. If that happens when you watch my videos, then thank you, that's a compliment, and whatever gets your rocks off, I suppose. But I think, to me, what I really associate with like a really good West Coast IPA, pale, blah 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 blah, it's that really distinct pininess. Excuse me. And this has got pine by the bucket load. It really, really has. That's really, really good. I didn't know what to expect with this. I never really do when it comes to like the more experimental, newer hops. But I think this is one of those sort of like, because let's face it, and I bring this point up every time, and I bring up the point that I bring up a point in most videos nowadays, but it's so saturated with, if you subscribe to a brewery's newsletter, you're getting about 2 or 3 emails a week. And breweries are just releasing so many new beers on a weekly basis. And I think this is one of those times where it's very easy to do, especially when you're just specifically focusing on one brewery. because of the sheer volume of beers, different beers that are being released on a regular basis. I've got a feeling this could fly a little bit under the radar. And it really does hammer down the point that nothing wrong with a 5 or even lower percent ABV pale ale. I know, friends who I know from the beer side of things, like, I've made that point a lot, but I've never quaffed at them. Might have queefed. Funny. I've never chortled or been aghast by the sheer absurdity of what they're saying. But I've never really I don't know, when I get excited when a new triple IPA gets released, because I like to see how far breweries will push it. And there was a time where I wouldn't really bother too much with newer pale ales, unless the ones that I was really familiar with, your likes of stuff from Marble and Sonoma from Track, Steady Rolling Man before it sort of dropped off a little bit. I've not had it for a while, so I could have it and just think, wow, I'd forgotten how great that beer is. But these sorts of already established pale ales, but they just seem to go to the wayside for me for the longest time. But I think there's been a bit of a resurgence of the lower ABV. There's a big, low alcohol movement with some heavy hitters like Mash Gang, really sort of changing the perception of lower non-alcoholic beers. But I've completely sidetracked myself. Yeah. Just carry on. But no, this is really good. This is very, very good. It's different enough, but has these familiar sort of flavours that I used to associate with craft beer years ago. And I still think it's really hard to, because brewers are so used to doing the hazies and the fruit punch lilt sort of beers. And it's hard to find a good West Coast-ish or West Coast style IPA or pale nowadays, but I think they've absolutely nailed it on this. I really, really do. And I hope that's what their intention was, but unintentionally, they've taken me back to my early days of getting into craft beer and seeing Stone Ruination. Oh, hello. Having a cheeky third of that and Brewdog. One of those game-changing beers for me. It's nowhere near that, because that was literally a palate wrecker. Very nice though. I know Stone Berlin did Ruin 10. Was it Ruination or was it Ruin 10 that I'm thinking of? I think there was a Ruin series. Don't type that into Pornhub. But yeah, it's I've completely thrown myself by making that remark now. But yeah, it takes me back, me personally. Someone could have this and think, what the fuck are you talking about, Peter? You know nothing. Now get back in your hole. But to me, yeah, absolutely lovely. Absolutely lovely. Just nail it. I love the pininess of it. It's really distinctly piney for me. And I'm all for it. So that was Concrete Jungle by Cloudwater. Definitely pick yourself up a can of that. I think it's still around. I've only had it for a couple of weeks, maybe a little bit longer. But yeah, if you have tried it, let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. I'm talking out my arse, so you're in complete agreement. I will be more favourable if you agree with me, of course. But yeah, check out Cloudwater. Absolutely fantastic beer once again. Links in the description. And yeah, there's a reason why Cloudwater are as well loved and respected as they are, because they just knock out some fantastic beers. And they're one of many breweries nowadays, thankfully. Not that there wasn't many breweries in the UK knocking out great craft beer. But yeah, lovely stuff indeed. Anyway, that's 15 minutes of your time that you're not going to get back. He's made another reference like that again. And but yeah, links in the description. Y'all take care. Don't say y'all. You all take care, stay safe, and I shall hopefully see you all in another beer review. Bye.